The new Manila International Airport will soon become one of the world's largest. It has an area of 2,500 hectares.
Ever had that airport experience where you're stuck in a line so long, you start questioning your life choices? Yeah, welcome to NAIA International Airport, Manila's current gateway to the world. Built for 35 million passengers, now crammed with over 50 million souls. It's basically the human version of stuffing an elephant into skinny jeans. But here's the plot twist. The Philippines is about to pull off an aviation glow-up so massive, it might just make Singapore's Changi sweat a little. Enter the new Manila International Airport in Bulacan. This isn't just an airport, it's an aerotropolis. That's right, a whole city built around aviation. Think 4 parallel runways, a futuristic mega-terminal, a transport web of expressways and railways, plus residential zones, commercial hubs, even an industrial park. Basically, if Tony Stark designed an airport, this would be it. Spanning 2,500 hectares with a $15 billion price tag, this thing is designed to swallow up to 100 million passengers a year. Expandable to 200 million. That's like giving every single person in the Philippines, and then some, a boarding pass. Compare that to NAIA's wheezy 35 million design capacity, and you'll see why this new hub is less of an upgrade and more of a complete personality transplant for Philippine aviation. And if you think it big is impressive, wait until you see what's hiding under the hood. Because this airport isn't just about size, it's about smarts. Covering 350,000 square meters, the terminal is less building and more urban jungle with air conditioning. Expect massive departure halls, streamlined check-in counters, lounges you'll actually want to sit in, a baggage system that won't leave your suitcase doing laps for an hour, and retail spaces that make duty-free feel like Disneyland for adults. It's designed to compete head-to-head with global giants like Dubai, Beijing Daxing, and Changi. But what's the point of a shiny terminal? If you can't get there without losing your mind in Manila traffic, don't worry, they thought of that too. The new Manila International Airport is plugged directly into a web of expressways and railway lines that tie into Metro Manila and beyond. Translation: no more epic 3-hour traffic sagas before you even hit check-in. It's about speed, efficiency, and making the airport feel like an extension of the city, not a punishment for wanting to travel. Alright, we've covered size, style, and speed. But here's the kicker, this airport isn't only thinking about today's passengers, it's got its eyes firmly locked on the future. Its runways and facilities are designed to accommodate both the giant birds of today and the eco-friendly aircraft of tomorrow. Plus, with runways positioned over the sea, it cuts down on noise pollution for nearby communities. Translation: your flight takes off smoothly, and Auntie Susan in Bulacan doesn't have to pause her karaoke session every 15 minutes. And speaking of the future, you might be wondering, how does Manila's new crown jewel stack up against the heavyweights of global aviation? Well, let's talk bragging rights. Singapore's Changi handles 90 million a year. Dubai, 115 million. Beijing Daxing, about to hit 100 million. New Manila International, already built to match and expandable to surpass. The Philippines is no longer just playing catch-up. It's crashing the VIP lounge of global aviation. But here's where it gets really wild, because this isn't just about moving people. This is about moving an entire economy. And that's what we'll dive into in the next section. So let's zoom out for a second. A massive airport isn't just a place where you buy overpriced coffee before boarding. It's an economic engine, and in the case of New Manila International, we're talking turbocharged horsepower. For starters, this project is expected to generate over 1 million jobs, direct and indirect. That's not just people in control towers or behind check-in counters. We're talking construction workers, engineers, maintenance crews, hospitality staff, retail employees, taxi drivers, ride-hailing operators, logistics workers, the whole ecosystem of people who keep the wheels of travel spinning. It's basically turning Bulacan into one giant employment magnet. But the jobs are just the beginning. When you build something this big, you don't just move planes, you move money. Tourism is about to get the glow-up of its dreams. Imagine a world where travelers step into the Philippines not through a chaotic bottleneck, but through a gleaming, seamless hub that rivals the world's best. First impressions matter, and for millions of tourists, this airport will be the new front door to the nation. More tourists equals more pesos spent on hotels, restaurants, beach resorts, malls, and all those "I love Manila" t-shirts no one admits to buying. And it's not just about tourists looking for beaches. It's about business. Foreign investors have long been eyeing the Philippines, but infrastructure bottlenecks often made them hesitate. A modern gateway changes that. Suddenly, boardrooms in New York, Tokyo, and London start seeing Manila not as a headache, but as an opportunity. Better connectivity means more deals signed, more regional offices set up, and more international companies planting their flags on Philippine soil. Now, let's talk about cargo, because this airport isn't only for moving people, it's also for moving stuff. And in a world dominated by e-commerce, speed is the new currency. Expanded cargo facilities mean faster exports, smoother imports, and a chance for local businesses to plug directly into global supply chains without the usual delays. Whether it's electronics from Cavite or fresh mangoes bound for Tokyo, goods will move faster, fresher, and more reliably. For industries like manufacturing and e-commerce, this is a game changer, and here's where it gets even more futuristic. This airport isn't just an airport, it's the centerpiece of a 12,000-hectare aerotropolis. That's an entire city built around aviation. Picture this: residential districts for workers and families, commercial zones buzzing with offices and malls, government hubs, an industrial park, even a seaport. It's basically SimCity in real life, except with less zoning drama and way more economic potential. That kind of integration doesn't just create convenience, it creates resilience. When your airport is tied directly into your commercial, residential, and industrial backbone, you don't just have planes taking off. You've got businesses scaling, communities growing, and an entire region leveling up at hyperspeed. And here's the part that makes this really powerful. Location, location, location. Bulacan sits just north of Metro Manila, strategically connecting the capital to the rest of Luzon. That means the airport doesn't just serve the city, it becomes the beating heart of an entire region. Central Luzon and Calabarzon are plugged directly into the global economy, making exports, travel, and trade smoother than ever. For a country long limited by infrastructure choke points, this is the equivalent of unclogging the nation's economic arteries. So yes, it's shiny. Yes, it's massive. Yes, it's futuristic. But more importantly, it's a launchpad for national growth. A place where jobs multiply, trade accelerates, and tourism flourishes. It's not just an airport. It's the country's new economic superhero. And if you think that's impressive, wait until you see how this project positions the Philippines on the global stage, because Southeast Asia is in the middle of an airport arms race. And Manila, it's no longer on the sidelines. Here's the thing, the Philippines isn't building this monster airport in a vacuum. Southeast Asia is in the middle of an aviation arms race. Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, they're all dropping billions to build the airports of tomorrow. Because in this region, airports aren't just infrastructure. They're weapons of economic influence. Take Thailand, for example. They're transforming their old military base, Utapao, into a shiny new aviation city worth nearly $9 billion. The plan? a passenger terminal, a free trade zone for commodities, a flight training center, and even aircraft maintenance facilities. Basically, Bangkok wants to make sure they don't just welcome tourists. They keep the jets flying, the cargo flowing, and the money pouring in. Then there's Cambodia. Just outside Phnom Penh, the Techo International Airport is rising from the ground, covering 2,600 hectares. That's almost the same size as New Manila International. The first phase alone is set to handle 13 million passengers a year when it opens, with later phases ramping up to 30 million. And they're not stopping at an airport, they're building an entire property hub around it. Cambodia is basically saying, we're open for business. Bring your planes, bring your people, bring your wallets. And of course, we can't ignore Vietnam's Long Thanh International. It's a $14.5 billion megaproject east of Ho Chi Minh City. Phase 1 alone is designed for 25 million passengers and over 1 million tons of cargo a year. But the end game? More than 100 million passengers annually. They've already finished their 4,000-meter runway, and the massive passenger terminal is underway. Vietnam is clearly gunning for heavyweight status in global aviation. Now let's zoom back to the Philippines. With New Manila International, the country isn't just catching up, it's planting its flag in this high-stakes race. It's saying, we're not content being the region's stopover, we want to be the destination. With 100 million passenger capacity out of the gate, expandable to 200 million, Manila isn't just entering the competition, it's aiming to lead. And that leadership matters. Because airports aren't just about planes and passengers, they're about perception. An outdated gateway tells the world you're behind. A world-class hub says you're ready to play in the big leagues. For decades, NAIA's chaos has been the butt of jokes. New Manila International flips the script. Suddenly, the Philippines isn't the underdog. It's the one setting the standard. But here's the kicker. This isn't only about aviation bragging rights. It's about positioning the Philippines as a serious global player. Stronger tourism, faster trade, more investment, millions of jobs, and a giant leap in how the world sees the country. This is about national pride, as much as it is about national growth. And the timing couldn't be better. Southeast Asia is one of the fastest growing travel markets on the planet. Tourism is bouncing back. Business travel is surging, and cargo demand keeps climbing. The countries that build the best airports today will control the airways of tomorrow. And with New Manila International, the Philippines is making sure it's not left waiting at the gate. So the next time someone asks you about the Philippines' future, don't just talk about beaches, food, or fiestas. Talk about Bulacan. Talk about the 4 runways of the mega terminal, the aerotropolis, and the 200 million passenger potential. Because that's not just infrastructure, it's transformation. And here's where you come in. If you found this breakdown as exciting as a first-class upgrade, hit that like button and share this video with someone who still thinks NAIA is the Philippines' future. Subscribe if you want more deep dives into the world's biggest projects, boldest moves, and game-changing ideas. And of course, ring that bell, because trust me, you don't want to miss what's taking off next.